In Revelation chapter 6, verses 5 through 8, it's talking about the seal judgments of God. And the first four are known as the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So you've got the first one that is conquering person goes out and conquers the world. The second one is war and similar problems. The third one is famine, and in that passage it talks about how everything becomes more expensive because famines cause supply to go down and demand to go up. And then the fourth one is death, and people die because of war, violence, famine, pestilence meaning sickness. And I was joking in small group last night about the fact that when it quotes and says that a day's wages will pay for like one meal, or a day's wages will pay for less than one meal, and don't even think about having valuables like wine or oil or stuff. I was joking that a square of toilet paper will go for a day's wages because that's what we're dealing with now. So there's no doubt in my mind that we are already living in the end times. There's not going to be a rapture at the end. Jesus is going to come back. Christians are going to get sucked up with him as he's coming back, and we're going to follow him back onto the new earth. 1 Thessalonians 4 reflects very much a Roman idea of people, of the Roman conquering general would come into a city, and before he came into the city, all his loyal followers, subjects, would come out and then escort him back in. That's what we're going to do with Jesus. That's the rapture. That's why he doesn't have to come 2 more times in order for the rapture and the second returning of Christ to be accurate. They're born in the same event. So there's no doubt in my mind that the rapture will happen. Plus, we have said from the beginning of time that, this must be a sign of the end times. Jesus said that there will be wars, rumors of wars, and all sorts of other things going on before the end times. So there's no doubt in my mind that we're in the end times. There is no doubt in my mind that Jesus could come back at any moment. There is no doubt in my mind any of this. If you think about it, we've been watching the headlines since Jesus first went back up to heaven, because the disciples stood there staring up into the sky dumbfounded, saying, maybe he'll come back in like 2 minutes. And it wasn't until angels came down and said, keep doing what he told you to do, go make disciples of all the nations, this message needs to go forth into the whole world, that they were like, maybe it'll be a little while. So, with that said, in this time of uncertainty, in this time of global trouble, in this time of a global virus problem, we have to live out our calling. We can't just stop. We can't just move on and hide from what's going on. We need to live out our calling. We're called to live in love, because when we do that, we will prove that we belong to God, and as such, when we prove that we belong to God, we will have confidence in the day of judgment. And when we have confidence in the day of judgment, we need not fear death. So, in this time, we're called to promise hope and eternal life to all who believe. With Jesus, we need not fear any of what's going on. I had a friend text me today, and he reminded me that 365 times in the Bible it says, do not fear. That's one reminder to not fear for every single day of the year. Which means we have nothing to fear. We need to trust Christ. We need to place our hope in him. He's the one that took our sicknesses and pains in his body on the cross so that we could get his righteousness and be united with God for eternity. So, I'm probably going to disappear from Facebook for a little while because I struggle with anxiety, and all of these posts and stuff are rubbing off on me. But in this with you, we gotta not fear. We got to trust God. We got to keep believing the gospel. We need to keep preaching the gospel. We need to take this fear of death that all of a sudden everybody has, and we need to run with that and say, I have the answer to your fear. The answer to your fear is Jesus, because he gave his life so that we wouldn't need to fear it. And other than that, that's all I've got. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.